Tonight at 10, heartbreak in Belleville after a beloved bar burns down. We'll show you the damage and what the owners have to say about the future of this local favorite. Greenlanders take to the streets rejecting President Donald Trump's plan to claim their land.
Invading it, a NATO ally, is unthinkable.
The growing backlash and how the president's new tariff threat could spark a NATO crisis. Plus, braving freezing temperatures, why dozens rallied in our community to speak out against the suppression of protests in Iran.
They are on the street and they are fighting for their life.
5 on your side at 10 starts with a weather impact alert. We're giving you a live look outside on what's been a dangerously cold Saturday. Temperatures were not the only thing falling today. Many of us saw snow and flurries blasting all around the area, and this may only be the beginning. Thanks for joining us at 10, everyone. I'm Robert Townsend. This wintry weather combo will continue over the next 24 hours. Let's bring in meteorologist Lance Blocker, who's tracking more snow tomorrow, Lance.
Yeah, we got a few isolated snow showers possible, maybe one or two, and then some light flurries possible as well. Today, we had a weak disturbance move across the region, basically squeezed what remaining moisture was out of the atmosphere as that very cold air moved in. We'll have an even weaker one move across the region tomorrow. Not expecting anything like what we saw today, but still some light snow possible for a few locations. Certainly cold enough for that. Most of us below 20 degrees at this hour. In fact, the entire region is like that. St. Louis, we're at 16 degrees. St. Charles at 16 as well. Rolla, 10 degrees. Cold. Overnight lows will be even lower than that as well. In the single digits for many locations across the region. You factor in the wind and wind chill values right around 0 degrees overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. We're going right at 0 for us here in downtown. -1, Chesterfield -4, and Sullivan there, St. Charles -2. Downright cold across the region. So again, you want to make sure your pets are well taken care of. Layer up if you're going to be headed down tomorrow morning for church or any other activities to start out the day. It will stay cold during the morning hours. We will warm up, relatively speaking, during the afternoon. I got your full forecast coming up.
All right, Lance, we'll check back in a moment. Right now, if you need a warm place to stay overnight in the city, there is help available. Nearly 800 beds across 4 shelters are open tonight. Shelters include the Peter and Paul Jugan Shelter, the Biddle Housing Opportunity Center, and the Peter and Paul Kings Highway Shelter. Now, emergency shelters will stay open through Monday morning. And we have more information about warming shelters across our region right now on KSDK.com. We can also send it to your phone. Just text the word warming to 314-425-5355 for a link. Well, despite freezing temperatures, about 100 people rallied in Baldwin today. They demanded an end to what they call a massacre in Iran that has killed thousands. 5 on your side's Megan Kernan joining us now with their message of solidarity. Megan.
Robert, according to human rights groups, most of the killings in Iran happened after internet access was cut, leaving much of the country cut off from the outside world. Protesters say what's happening is being hidden. Today, that message reached Baldwin.
Message Trump, act today!
Wrapped in flags and winter coats, about 100 people stood shoulder to shoulder in bitter cold along Manchester Road in Baldwin, protesting in solidarity with demonstrators in Iran.
Our main reason is to support people of Iran because they are on the street and they are fighting for their life. And the regime is suppressing them, killing them every day on the street.
Organizers say they're speaking out against what they describe as a deadly crackdown on protesters. A crackdown that's left at least 3,000 people dead and more than 22,000 arrested, according to the human rights activist news agency. Human rights groups say the vast majority of the killings happened after the internet access was cut, leaving families in the dark.
This is a text I gave my mom about a week ago saying, "Mom, we're so worried about you and please be careful," but unfortunately it hasn't delivered since.
Dr. Aryan Madani says his mother lives in Iran. For nearly a week, his family had no way of knowing if she was alive.
She called actually yesterday saying she was okay, but still no internet in Iran, and many people have no news from their families and their beloved.
Despite the cold, protesters say standing here for just an hour and a half is nothing compared to the danger people in Iran are facing.
I do believe this support, it's nothing compared to what people are going through in Iran.
Rescue Iran from Islamic Republic!
Organizers say showing up locally helps keep international attention on what they believe the Iranian government is trying to hide.
We want a regime change, and we want the support of the United States for people in Iran that they are fighting for their life. They are being killed, suppressed, and being in the jail.
Organizers say they'll be back outside along Manchester Road tomorrow from 2:30 to 4 p.m. They say they're expecting a similar turnout and will keep their voices loud for those who can't be heard.
Megan, thanks a lot. For more reaction to this international story. Tonight, police are investigating a deadly early morning crash involving a pedestrian. St. Louis County police say a man was hit by at least one car on Lucas and Hunt Road in North County. They believe it happened around 1 o'clock this morning. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. So far, police have not identified the man. They say a driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating with police. Tonight, a beloved Belleville bar is closed until further notice due to a devastating fire earlier today. It happened at the owners of this place. They tell us it's called Grappa Growlers. They confirmed the news and shared these images you see right here of the aftermath with 5 Year Side. They say an electrical fire badly damaged the bar on North Belt. Investigators believe nothing inside is salvageable. The bar's owners say they will share updates on what's next as soon as they are able to. Today, the 29th annual Cardinal Winter Warm-Up took over Busch Stadium. The two-day fundraiser is considered the unofficial kickoff to the baseball season. It was fans' first chance to meet the team ahead of the upcoming season. All proceeds benefit the Cardinals Care program, which contributes to local youth sports. The fund resumes tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Another night of protest in Minneapolis weeks after a woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent. Tonight, the violent clash between protesters on both sides. Plus, after a tornado ripped it down, a statue dedicated to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is once again standing tall.
We had some snowy scenes across the region today. We've got our next weather maker could bring some snow to the region in the forecast. I got the latest details coming up.
Tonight, the U.S. military says one of the people connected to an attack that killed 3 American troops in Syria is now dead. The news was announced hours after the military launched a third round of retaliatory strikes against ISIS targets in Syria. This is video from the second round of air strikes, which happened last weekend. U.S. officials say the attacks are part of an ongoing commitment to protect Americans and allies in the region.
So, Donald, we don't want to be Americans. We are Greenlanders, and we want to be in a democratic world, and we hope Americans, they will support us.
That was the message tonight from thousands of protesters who expressed outrage over the United States' recent threats to take over the island of Greenland. Now, it comes as President Donald Trump is threatening Denmark and 8 other NATO ally countries with a new 10% tariff. The tariff would begin next month unless a deal is reached for the U.S. to buy the island that's located between the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans. The president argues owning Greenland is central to U.S. and global security. However, tonight those threats are drawing much criticism from both sides of the political aisle.
Basically severing this whole agreement and invading an ally, a democracy, it's immoral, it's wrong.
The thought of starting a war or invading a NATO ally is unthinkable.
This week, several European countries responded to the threat by sending troops to Greenland for military exercises. Now, it's important to note that any moves made by the U.S. military could trigger Article 5 of the NATO treaty. The article says an attack on one NATO territory is an attack on all. Meanwhile, back here at home, dueling protests clash over federal immigration operations in Minnesota. This is video you're looking at from the chaotic scene earlier today. It shows pro-ICE protesters being outnumbered by counter-protesters outside City Hall in Minneapolis. You can see the two groups kept shouting at each other. Despite pleas to stay peaceful, things quickly got out of hand. The organizer of the pro-ICE protest said he was attacked and stabbed by counter-protesters at this rally. All of this comes as tensions continue to escalate since an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good earlier this month. Vice President J.D. Vance recently said ICE agents would be ramping up deportations, going door to door to check on illegal immigrants. 5 on Your Side's political editor Mark Maxwell asked Illinois Representative Mike Bost about the legality of the operations during this week's episode of The Record.
Going door to door is not an uncommon practice when looking for criminals.
A person's home is the most sacred protected space in constitutional law. The Fourth Amendment protects our privacy. The Fifth Amendment protects our life, liberty, and property.
You don't have to quote the Constitution to me. I know it. But I'm telling you that when it is there's federal crime involved, there is a procedure that you can go to locate them door to door.
You can catch the rest of that heated conversation streaming right now on the free 5+ app. Just scan the QR code or search KSDK in your TV's app store. Coming up, a community pillar back in its rightful place. A Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. statue in North St. Louis is back where it belongs. Today, lots of people came out to see the recently restored statue. The monument was ripped from its pedestal during the May 16th tornado. 5 on Your Side's Reagan DeTrolio talked with the man who repaired it back to its former glory.
It's really the symbol of rebuilding St. Louis.
St. Louis artist Bob Roca repaired this 2,000-pound bronze statue of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Winds from the May tornado ripped it off its pedestal.
It was pretty beat up. It took me about 5 months to refurbish it.
But Roca made it happen, and on Saturday, the whole Northside community got to enjoy it here in Fountain Park while singing along in unison.
He was a monumental force for change.
Believe it or not, this is the only MLK statue in the entire state of Missouri, which makes its repair that much more special for the whole community here in North St. Louis, still recovering from the tornado.
And even after storms, statues will rise again.
One by one, people kept coming up to the podium, sharing their own experiences with MLK.
I've heard stories from my grandmother, Marquita Norman, about how Reverend King came to St. Louis and had dinner at my family's house.
Dr. King was even a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, the same brotherhood Jerome Carroll belongs to.
One of the things that Dr. King taught us is that dignity does not reside in monuments. Dignity lives in people.
That dignity lives on in each one of these community members. It helps the community take pride in their neighborhood, considering there's still damage in other places.
That's exactly what it is. It's just a real sense of pride that everybody has with Martin Luther King and everything he stood for. But more than that, it binds people together.
Reporting in North St. Louis, I'm Reagan DeTrolio, 5 on Your Side.
So many people love that statue for so many reasons. Now, if you missed the rededication ceremony today, there are other MLK-centered activities throughout this week you can attend. We have a complete list on KSDK.com. Well, back now to our frigid temps. Everybody's talking about the big C word, the cold. Meteorologist Lance Blocker here now with the weather impact forecast.
Yeah, plenty of cold air for us today. That helped spark some of these showers that moved across the region. A nice little weak disturbance moved across here, brought some snow for us. They got worse conditions in other parts of the country, though. Blizzard warnings across northern North Dakota, northwest Minnesota. The reason I wanted to point this out is because they got winter storm warnings across central Georgia, including Macon, Georgia. I guarantee you cannot buy a loaf of bread in Macon, Georgia tonight, or probably even milk either. All right, so for us, again, just cold temperatures in the teens we go. 16 degrees for us here in town, DeSoto 15, Farmington, cold, 12 degrees. You factor in the wind. We got wind gusts upwards to 20 to 25 miles per hour. It's feeling more like the single digits and will remain in that range overnight tonight and early tomorrow mornings. If you head out to church or any other activities to start out the day, it's going to be frigid. Make sure you bundle up and you've got plenty of layers on. By the afternoon, though, temperatures, well, the winds die down. The temperature's warming to the mid-30s, wind chill factor about the mid-20s. So again, just make sure you got the extra layers, and as always, make sure your pets are well protected as we move through the overnight tonight. A couple other suggestions for you here as well. I know a lot of folks across the region will end up, well, tomorrow morning, if you want to start out the car early before you get in it and it's frigid and cold, Start the car outside. Don't leave it in the garage. Carbon monoxide, of course, can be an issue there too. Drip any faucets, that could be a problem there as well. And if you use a space heater overnight, of course, it's a very efficient way to keep some of your bedroom space perhaps warm overnight tonight. Give them plenty of space. There will be fires tonight across the region because of space heaters, and I don't want you to be one of them. So give them plenty of space. Plug the outlet or plug directly into the wall outlet, not using an extension cord. That can cause issues too. And don't leave them running a load. Even whenever you go to sleep, they can be an issue. So warm up your room. Use plenty of blankets. I just don't want anybody to have any issues out of this. So that could be an issue there as well. Of course, it is a very efficient way to keep your room warm there because it's going to be cold outside, and a lot of us deal with that. So partly cloudy skies start out tomorrow morning, 12 degrees, frigid. As we move through the afternoon, clouds move back through. A weak disturbance moves overhead, maybe a few isolated flurries, nothing too bad. We're already watching our next weather maker. It's an area below pressure. The Canadian, European, and American forecast models all have it moving across the region. They can't agree on where that will move. The further north that it goes, the more rain we get. The further south that it goes, the more snow we get. It looks like it'll arrive sometime this weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We will keep you updated as we move along the week, get some more confidence on that, of course. But the big story for us here tonight, that's the frigid air in place across the region. That's what we're concerned about the most, with temperatures into the 20s or into the teens overnight tonight, single digits for a few locations. Wind chill values again right around 0.
The thick of winter is here.
Yep. All right, we're gonna go over. Yep. All right, so there we go. All right, so we're keeping. There's multiple chairs at our big desk here. Go ahead.
We're playing musical chairs. Hey, the Billikens are playing some red-hot basketball. The Cardinals are warming up for the spring, and the NFL delivered another playoff thriller. Sports is up after the break.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel is now available in Missouri.
It has been a fruitful conference season so far for these 3 regional college hoops team. Coming into today, they were a combined 12-2 in their respective leagues. 2 of them added to the win column today. My favorite halftime event of the year at Chaffetz, Baby Race Day. Some participants more engaged than others. The race wasn't close, and neither was the game between SLU and Richmond. The Bills got off to a 14-2 lead on this Ishan Sharma triple. Kellen Thames would get the crowd fired up with the steal, and then the slam on the other end. He had a team-high 16 points. Robbie Avila's turn. He gets a nice little tap in there. He had 14. And Brady Dunlap continued to connect from deep. This was a 4-point play. SLU runs away with an 88-63 victory. And yeah, go ahead and rank them. The Bills are now 17-1.
It's the ability for them to put the team above themselves and to put team success over individual success and sacrifice minutes and shots and those things for the good of the collective that makes them special. And but the balance, I think, today and you really go most of the year has just been, the guys are touching the game in so many ways and different guys, different nights, but they all pull together, support each other, and are about the right stuff.
Dennis Gates and Jaden Stone on the road at LSU trying to move Mizzou to 4-1 in the SEC. Uneventful first half, but then things got hot and so did Stone. Tigers down 10, Stone good for 3. Tigers down 9, Stone another 3, this one from the corner. Tigers down 6. I think you already know where this is going. Stone, another 3. This one from way downtown. He had a team-high 20 points for Mizzou. But LSU never wanted to give up that lead. Rashad King, big-time bucket in a 4-point game late as LSU wins 78-70. Missouri moves to 3-2 in conference play.
Well, I'm going to watch some more film, but from my eyes and my view, we got the stops. We didn't get the rebound. And their second chance points was a major part of that. In addition to that, we had some good looks that we did not knock down, and we should have gotten to the free throw line a little quicker.
Up in Champaign, Illinois hosted Minnesota, and Zvonimir Ivasic had a day off the bench. 18 points in 18 minutes for the big fella. He also had 9 rebounds and 3 blocks. The freshman continues to impress as well. Keaton Wagler, contested triple, that gave him 17 on the day. Illinois prevails with a 77-67 win over the Golden Gophers. Today was the annual reminder that baseball is right around the corner. It is winter warm-up weekend at Busch Stadium and Ballpark Village, and the retooling Cardinals have plenty to talk about. While the Cardinals are trading away their veterans and developing from within, many other clubs around the league are spending big. Dodgers. So how does this new era of Cardinals baseball plan to contend with the big spenders going forward? Here's Heim's take.
Yes, the landscape is different team to team. That's a reality. We do have different parameters from what the Dodgers have. And therefore, if we want to win, we are going to have to go about it a little bit differently. But we also can never, ever allow that to be an excuse within our baseball operation. It can't be. I just don't think that's a winning mindset, and we're going to stamp out that mindset, even as we know it's a different landscape. We can't allow that to be an excuse. We cannot be more focused on the obstacle than the goal.
One way to expedite the path to contending, getting young players to step up. It is a huge year for this man, Jordan Walker. This offseason, Walker has spent time at Driveline, honing in his swing, and has slimmed down a bit as well. However, Walker's mindset remains the same.
Every year I want to come in and be great. And every different year I have different approaches on how I do it. I approach this offseason different than how I approached last offseason. But I still have the same mentality. I want to come in here, I want to win a spot, and I want to have a crazy year. You know what I'm saying? So it's still, the mentality is still there. Just how I approached it, physicality-wise, I would say it's just a little bit different.
Bills and Broncos in a wild AFC divisional playoff game. Bo Nix to Marvin Mims. Under a minute left. Broncos take a 3-point lead. Too much time for Josh Allen, though. He drives the field. Buffalo gets a field goal, and we go to overtime. In OT, some questionable calls rule the day, and in the end, it's Denver who kicks the game-winning field goal to beat Buffalo 33-30 to advance. However, Broncos QB Bo Nix broke his ankle right at the end of this win. He's out for the year. Great win for Denver. Brutal news afterwards. That'll do it for sports.
Thanks a lot. That's 5 on your side at 10, everybody. Saturday Night Live is coming your way next. Start your day with Today in St. Louis.